What's going on, guys? Nate back here. This is going to be my second video on the channel. Hopefully it's not horrible. Without further ado, let's get started. When it comes to collecting in cards, typically we see the summer months are a little bit of a downward trend. Everything drops a little bit with PSA and raw cards, so we tend to see the market shift a lot. So the cards that I'm going to show in this video, I think are perfect buys before we start seeing another run up in September and October. I think essentially now we need to take advantage of the sales that are going on during the summer months, because once the holidays start to ramp up and people are looking for gifts and people have extra disposable income from work bonuses, this is definitely the best time to buy because stuff is relatively cheap before it goes crazy. Keep in mind, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor and I just like cardboard, bro. So I don't know. First card that I have on my list is Articuno from Journey Together. Now, I feel like a lot of people that are talking about cards to pick up, this is always in the list. It's, you know, besides the art being gorgeous, the only downside to this card is that it is not an SIR. If it was an SIR, this would obviously be an $800, $900 card. If not, probably $1,200 card. I'm not going to lie to you. But as we see at a PSA 10, it's about $300, and it's a nice one sale a day. I think one sale a day is a nice sweet spot where the card is definitely liquid. You're really not going to have any issue selling it in the future. I think this is quite a safe buy. If we take a look at the pop report, 7,000 10s and 15,000 9s, and for some reason 3,000 8s. That's crazy. It clearly means people like this card. The fact that 15,000 of them got a PSA 9 means that people are looking to get this card graded and add it to the collection. So I think this is a pretty good time to buy. If you think about it, when it comes to Pokemon, $300 isn't going to get you that far. A lot of the booster boxes nowadays, you can't even buy for $300. Card number 2 is the Wailord from Journey Together. If we go ahead and take a look at the pop report on him as well, 6,400 PSA 10s with 20,000 graded. I mean, again, it's clearly a wanted card. There's obviously some love for Wailord, and it's definitely a cool card. Like, that you can't deny. He looks sick. Again, like how we mentioned before, with $200, there's not much you can do in this hobby unless you want to go buy a bunch of raw singles, but I wouldn't really advise that for investing purposes. I'm not going to lie to you. I think Wailord is a nice pickup. I definitely could see it doubling in price. It could probably get to $400, you know. There's a lot of love for this card. I don't see why not. This is not Pokemon, but an OP13 booster box I think could be a crazy steal right now. The card value in these boxes are absurd. You have the red mangas and you have the normal mangas. Bro, the red mangas are close to, I think, like $20,000 in a PSA 10. And the Luffy one and everything. If you see, it was a $700 box, and now it's slowly on its way down to under $500. I saw a lot of people online were talking about this box, saying if it drops under $500, they're going to be buying a lot. If you don't know anything about One Piece, the chances of pulling a manga are so hard. Compared to the gold cards in Pokemon, the chances of pulling a manga are like 1 in, I think, like 4 cases or something. So it is really difficult to get one. So that's obviously why the boxes are close to $400. And on top of that, compared to the Pokemon stock, One Piece was definitely slacking a little bit because they were not expecting the cards to run up this high. All of this hype that we had around Pokemon that kind of pushed its way into One Piece was definitely not anticipated by Bandai. So they were not able to keep up with the quality and printing boxes at a fast enough rate for everybody. So there's definitely a supply issue. I wouldn't be surprised if we see by the end of the year that the box gets up to $700 again. I really wouldn't. I think this could be an easy play to make a $300 profit. Just hoard some of these boxes for less than $500. Go to a show, make $200 profit each. Again, not financial advice, but if you're looking for a quick play for free money, an infinite money glitch, I think this is the one for you. I have the Hoopa 155 XY. I'm a little bit biased because this is one of my favorite cards. So if you look carefully, you have Hoopa on the card, which people don't really like. But then you have Mega Latios, which is like, ooh, Mega Latios. Then you have Pikachu. It's like, okay, Pikachu. And then obviously you see there's a Rayquaza shiny. So it's like, holy, why is there a Rayquaza on this card? And it's like, you would think that's it, but then it's extra stacked and you literally have a Lugia posted up in the back. So this card is obviously stacked. The best thing about this card is the fact that the print run, the quality was pretty horrible on it. The only way you could get it was if you went to the movie premiere back in Japan, back in 2015, and they handed it out to you in like little sleeves. However, allegedly, a lot of the cards have a little ding on the right because I guess when it was coming from the manufacturing and they were pumping it and whatever, all this stuff, there was a very small ding on all of the cards. So that's why there's only 2,000 PSA 10s, which if you think about it, with all the trade shows and all the card shows around the world, like 2,000 copies is nothing. That is a really small amount. So the fact that the last sold is I want to use the word lightly, only $2,600. It doesn't really make sense to me, considering it is freaking stacked, and we have a Rayquaza set coming out in November. So you have Rayquaza on the card, and it's a shiny Rayquaza. You're out of your mind. But this card has seen insane potential growth. The thing with low pop cards, this card had a crazier run up because there was only maybe 2 listed. So it ran up from $1,300 and jumped within a month to $3,000 because of the low pop. That's what happens when there's a low pop card. The listings are all over the place. So now we're slowly reaching back down from 2.7, 2.3. So the poor soul that bought at 3, I do feel bad for you. That was not ideal at the moment because the card is dropping back down to 2.3 range. So I think if you could pick this up about $2,100 to even $2,000, I think that's a steal. I think this is going to be a grail in the future. Again, like I said, even if you're not that much of a fan of Hoopa, the fact that the card's from 2015, that is already 11 years old, plus there's a Lugia and a Rayquaza in the back, and a Pikachu. It's like a hidden Pikachu, and there's only 2,000 copies. I don't really see how this could be a bad purchase, if you get what I'm saying. So this one's a little bit controversial. The Chaos Rising booster box. So the only 2 booster boxes right now that you can purchase for under $200 is Chaos Rising and Perfect Order. Perfect Order, sure, that makes sense. It's under $200 because it's a junk set. That I understand. However, if we take a look at the cards of this set, I mean, dude, it's not the worst, right? Since, a lot of people like this card. This is an SIR. It's going still for $61 a day. That's quite nice, actually. The Xerneas is also pretty cool. If this was a textured card, it definitely would be a lot more expensive, though. It has one of my favorite Mons, Ampharos, in it as well. Untextured, unfortunately, it is an IR. Why is it going for $340 in a PSA 10? That's pretty weird. But anyways. So, I think this box isn't the worst thing that you could buy right now. This box isn't the worst thing that you can buy right now, especially with the Mega Greninja EX. A lot of kids like Mega Greninja. This is basically their Charizard of the generation. Think about who's going to be buying our cards in 10 years from now, and it will be the children. So by the children liking Greninja and growing up on him and having his Mega, I would say this box will hold some kind of premium in the future. If you're looking to hoard boxes in your room, this could be a good one to do. And, I mean, this is also pretty cheap. $700 for a 10. But, again, keep in mind, the boxes will be in print for, another 3 years or something. So that's something also to keep in mind. But I think less than $200 for a box, you can't really go wrong with that. My last card on the list, this is a shameless plug because I just picked this up this weekend and I'm absolutely obsessed with it. I can't wait to get it in my hand and feel it. I'm so excited. Is the Chinese exclusive Pikachu with Psyduck sleeping, with Jigglypuff posted up in the back, and none other than Dragonite flying in the sky. Buddy, if these Chinese cards stay a Chinese exclusive, and they have their very small print run like they do, and they don't reprint, I think in the future, these cards could skyrocket. The biggest concern is if they're going to reprint these in different languages. If they don't, these cards will be modern grails. If they do, we're all going to be left holding the bag, and these are going to be probably worth $400 to $300 in the future. When these cards came out, it was about $3,000 in a 10, and it slowly trickled down. And then we had, a little slump here that was about $600 for a while. And then slowly, of course, when Pokemon went crazy again, this is when it rised all the way back up to $2,700, and now it's all the way back down. So, do I think it's going to go back down to $800? I hope not, because I bought it for $1,800, if I'm going to be transparent. But this is a long-term hold anyways. I don't plan to sell it. It's such a cool card. But $800 I think was insanely cheap for it, especially that there's 2 sales a day, which, like I said, I feel like even 1 sale a day is healthy, but 2 sales is quite nice, especially in an ungraded. Even to get 1 sale, a grade 9 is even 1 sale a day. Anytime I see 1 sale a day, I think it's a liquid card and there shouldn't be an issue moving it in the future because obviously people love it. And if you're not aware, there is a very big fan base for Psyduck, let alone Dragonite and let alone Pikachu and let alone Jigglypuff. So that's all 4 on 1 card. And of course, if we go take a look at the pop report, last sold $1,680. So of course, I already overpaid by $140, but not really because I bought it in person and $400 in shipping plus taxes plus fees plus all this nonsense. And again, 5,000 pop report is quite high. I wonder how many are still out there waiting to get graded. I wouldn't be surprised if this probably hits 6,000 eventually. And it looks like it was relatively easy to get graded. However, I think a card like this, it's going to be hoarded. I know when my brother picked up this card for me this weekend at Card Party, unfortunately I wasn't able to go in Fort Lauderdale, He was walking around trying to find it for me, and he found tons of people hoarding it, having it in their case, but it was not for sale for whatever reason. Why are you showing us the card if it's not for sale? I guess they're trying to flex it and pump it, but so I think there's a big fan base for this card specifically, and shameless plug, I want this card to go, and I think this card could hit $3,000 again. Once it's out of, I'm pretty sure it's out of print already, but if people are still pulling it, if the boxes are still in rotation, who knows? I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, please go down there, smack the like button, and leave a comment if you guys enjoyed. And if you agree with my tips, let me know. And I appreciate you watching. Thank you.